After basic operations, we also want to be able to perform what's called the composition of functions. If I'm given two functions here, f of x is equal to x squared and g of x is equal to x minus 3, we're going to talk about what's called composition. The notation looks something like this and is read f of g of x. It looks like the word fog, but it can also be written as f of g of x. I prefer this notation and will be transferring all of our composition problems into that format. But just like when we were evaluating these functions, whatever was in parentheses got plugged in for x, the same is true here. So for example, for these two functions, if I wish to calculate f of g of 6, I can think of that as f of g of 6, and then I need to calculate what g of 6 is. G of 6, I'm going to take the 6 and plug it in wherever I see an x in my g function, which gives me 6 minus 3, which is 3. I can now take that 3 and substitute it in for the g of 6, which I can then take that 3 and plug it into my x function, which gives me 3 squared, or 9. So f of g of 6 is 9. Note that the opposite is not true. So if instead of doing f of g of 6, I do g of f of 6, then I have g of f of 6. I plug in 6 into my function of f, which is x squared. So f of 6 becomes 6 squared, or 36, leaving me with g of 36. I then plug that 36 in for x here, which gives me 36 minus 3, which is 33. Again, it gets a little more complicated when we're dealing with functions that don't equal a specific value. For example, if f of x is x squared and g of x is x minus 3, if I wish to calculate g of f of x, I can rethink that as g of f of x. I know f of x. F of x is x squared, so this becomes g of x squared. And then I take that x squared and plug it in anywhere I see an x, and I get x squared minus 3. I'm going to rewrite those same two functions and just show you how you would calculate f of g of x. If I want to calculate f of g of x this time, I'm going to have f of g of x. I know g of x, so I can immediately substitute that in. And now I'm going to take this value, and wherever I see an x, I'm going to plug it in. So this becomes x minus 3 squared, which I then have to FOIL, giving me x squared minus 3x minus 3x plus 9, or x squared minus 6x plus 9.